Let us now talk about the limits at infinity. The limits of negative exponent. Now, negative exponent power or root functions at infinity. Okay? And kapag sinabi nating negative, negative na exponent, you may have x raised to negative 3, x raised to negative 1/2, x raised to negative 5 over 4. Ibig sabihin ng mga ganito, these are the negative exponent. Yun kasi yung sinabi niya. For as long as negative yung exponent. So there is what we call a power or root functions. Ano ibig yan sabihin? A root function. Class root function is also considered to be a radical function in some references. Okay? So here, there is a condition that let n be a positive integer. If you let n be a positive integer, sabi niya, ang mangyayari daw, yung 1 over x raised to n ay magiging 0, habang ang x ay nag-i-increase without bound. It means to say that when x keeps on increasing, itong si 1 over x raised to n daw ay papunta sa 0. On the other hand, ang sinasabi din, when x keeps on decreasing, itong si 1 over x raised to n daw keeps on approaching 0. To give you a very good idea of that, okay, a good idea of that is when you have numbers wherein ito, 1/2, 1/3, 1/5, 1 over 10. So what can you say? Si 1/2 ay laging mas malaki kay 1/3. Si 1/3 mas malaki kay 1/5. Si 1/5 mas malaki kay 1 over 10. Eh paano kung meron ka ng 1 over 1,000 kunwari? The more na mas malaki si 1 over 10 kay 1 over 100. So saan papunta ang values niya? So habang ini-increase mo yung denominator, sabi. Plus papunta yan sa 0. Yun ang sinasabi naman ng x approaches positive infinity. What if you have x that is approaching or keeps on increasing? Keeps on decreasing. You can have 1 over negative 5. 1, or let's say negative 50. 1 over negative 3, 1 over negative 2, 1 over negative 1. Tapos makikita mo na this is negative 1. Excuse me, this is negative 1/2. This is negative 1/3, negative 1 over 50. So, ano mapapansin natin dito? Okay, is it increasing or is it approaching 0? Pag in-increase mo na nag-in-increase, tinan mo yung nangyayari kay, di ba? Di ba si negative 1/2, pag isulat ko dito, si negative 1 over 50 versus 1 over 1/3 versus negative 1/2, negative 1. Maliit si negative 1 over 50 eh. Less than siya kay negative 1/3. Di ba? Ay, no. Wrong. That must be less than kasi we're talking to negative numbers. Mas malaki siya. Mas malaki ito. Mas malaki si negative 1/2 kay negative 1. Ang ibig sabihin kasi nito class, in the number line, ito ang 0, this is negative 1. Ang number na pinakamalapit kay 0 ay mas malaki. So, sa negative 1 over 50, nandyan na siya, halos 0 na siya. Si negative 1/3, o digatiin mo to sa tatlo, nandito si negative 1/3. Okay, what about kay 1/2? O siya yung kalahati, negative 1. Ibig sabihin, habang dinidecrease mo yung values ng x on the denominator, ay tuloy-tuloy naman sa pag-increase. No? Tuloy-tuloy naman sa pag-increase tuloy-tuloy siya sa pag-approach sa 0. Ayan siya. It goes closer and closer to 0. What if you have here negative 1 over 1 o 10,000 halimbawa, halos zero na rin siya. Diba? Halos zero na siya. Yun ang sinasabi nitong rule. So, ang kagandahan nitong rule class, okay, pwede ka daw mag-generalize sa kanya. Ngayon, dahil yun ang ginagawa niya, when you keep on increasing the denominator, keep on decreasing the denominator as well. And the numerator is constant. Tingnan mo yung numerator niya, di ba? 1 lang. Dito na magpapakita yung isa sa very popular na limit or infinity rule, that is 1/infinity is 0. We actually understand this rule as this way. 1 being constant to an infinity that is, well, definitely infinity, be it negative or positive, that goes to 0. But again and again, we don't treat this an actual equation. What we want here to show is as to what value does the function gets closer and closer to. It gets closer and closer to 0. Yun ang sinasabi. Okay? Now, what if you have 5/infinity? -6/infinity. Anong ibig sabihin nila? Pare-pareho silang 0. We can now generalize actually, class, that if you have, kung meron kang any constant a na hindi 0, where a is not 0, and then you have infinity or a denominator that keeps on increasing or decreasing, that is always 0. And you know the reason, class? Kasi kapag ang a na yan ang a/infinity ay finactor out mo, ang ibig sabihin a times 1/infinity. Ang 1/infinity is 0. So what is a times 0? A constant times 0 is 0. That means to say, class, that when your numerator is a constant and denominator is infinity, that is 0. Yun yung sinasabi. That's the general rule. Okay? May you please remember that. Dahil ang rule na yan ay gagamitin mo ulit sa pangalawa. Ito yung sinabi naman ng pangalawa. And if n is, ito, look at the condition. If n is even, sabi niya, ang mangyayari, you have the limit of 1/nth root of 0, nth root of x, as x approaches, x keeps on increasing, is 0. Bakit kaya, class? Going back, okay? Going back, we know that nth root of x gets closer or keeps on increasing as x keeps on increasing. Bakit? Kaya nga meron tayong tinatawag na nth root of positive infinity is positive infinity. So sa madaling salita, kung ito ay tuloy-tuloy sa pag-increase, then pwede nating sabihin therefore, no? So pwede nating sabihin that 1/infinity now is 0. This is specifically positive infinity. Kasi nga yun ang assumption natin. Actually, that's the rule, not the assumption. That's the rule. That nth root of x, when x keeps on increasing, tells you that nth root of a radicand that keeps on increasing, the y value keeps on increasing also. That's positive infinity. And why is it that it's only positive infinity? Because that is even. We don't talk about negative values kay even index. Pero pagdating kay n that is odd, tinatanggap niya ang negative at saka positive. Ang sabi niya, dahil nga meron tayong tinatawag na nth root of negative infinity pagdating kay odd number, that is negative infinity, which leads into form of 1/negative infinity. Or if you have positive, nth root of positive infinity gives you 1/positive infinity. Well, this too actually leads to 0. They approach as 0. Okay, now this leads to another possible shortcut. We note this one as shortcut. Dahil ang sabi that 1/infinity is equal to 1/negative infinity. That is 0. That's the rule already. And if you want to talk about the general rule, if you have a number a/infinity where a is not 0, is 0. Yan din ang tinutukoy niya. Not only 1, pero alam niyo kasi class, ang sinasabi kasi ng 1. 1 is but, it means it is already the simplified. Kapag kaya mong ilabas ang 1, meaning to say, nag-factor out ka. So when you factor that out, sabi niya, katulad nitong a over infinity. Kasi pwede mo itong gawing a over 1, a times 1 over infinity eh. Yung kakasabi ko kanina, where 1 over infinity is 0. So a times 0 is 0. Yun din ang tinutukoy niya, class. Kaya, okay. On your thinking, therefore, kahit ano pala ang base, magzi-0 siya. That is already the kind of, well, shortcut on your mind also. And I hope you take down notes, yung mga ganyan. Okay, kasi malaking tulong sila. Baka mamaya sa isip nyo 1 over, baka ganun lagi nasa isip nyo. Pero hindi naman laging ganun. Generally, the denominator can be, the denominator can be any real numbers. Okay, so let's have the following examples. Okay, number 1, kikita natin, this is positive infinity. So what can you say about fifth root of positive infinity? Diba? That is positive infinity for radical. 1 over positive infinity is 0. But you see? So kapag yan, itry nating magkaroon ng isang katulad niya. Let's say, for example, you have negative of 1 over fifth root of x. As x approaches positive infinity. Meaning to say, this will become negative. There is no negative of 0. Because that will become negative of 1 over positive infinity. So, there is no such thing as negative 0. So this is 0. Yun din. And then, sorry, you have here negative sign. I just included negative sign. Pero hindi siya nakagulo. Kasi any number multiplied to 0 is 0. Okay? Tingnan nyo naman ito pangalawa. This is negative infinity. And then this is odd number. So tatanggapin niya ang negatives. Kaya nga naging ganito siya. 7th root of negative infinity is negative infinity. O ano ang sabi ng rule? 1 over negative infinity is 0. Kaya 0 lang ito. So, number 3, number 4. Okay, number 3 does the same, 0 pa rin. Pero itong number 4 class, dito kayo maging conscious. Dahil ang 1 over infinity ay magiging 0, ibig sabihin, mare-retain ang constant. Magpapakita si constant. Just like here in number 4, 1 over cube root of x. As x approaches positive infinity, we know that cube root of x increases without bound as x increases also. So 1 over infinity is 0. So ang 0, add mo sa 3. Okay, this must be 3. Please recognize the typo error. That must be 3. That's interestingly, the power of when you are recognizing 0. Katulad din siya ni number 7. Ito magiging negative infinity lang yan. So you have 1 over negative infinity minus 1. Ito ay magiging 0. Have that. So 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Okay? Ito namang number 5, dahil ito ay x, not constant, that is identity, gagayahin niya ang movement ng x here. X keeps on increasing o siya din mag-i-increase. Kaya siya identity function. Identical sila. So a 0 added to infinity is positive infinity. Okay? So do you have clarifications on that? Can you follow? Okay, we're still on the first case, that is 1 over infinity case. That is 0. Always remember, class, that will happen when x approaches positive infinity. Aasahan mo ang 1 over infinity, magpartner dito ang dalawa. Aasahan mo na pwedeng mangyari ang 1 over infinity that is equal to 0 kung limit at infinity yan. Diba? X approaches positive infinity is limit at infinity. That is a limit at infinity rule, no? So you have to take a look at it, and kasi makamalito kayo as we go through. I hope pansinin nyo yun. So it always helps, no, to observe by inspection kung mangyayari yung 1 over infinity form. Now, to check if you understood this part, I'm going to give 3 problems only involving this rule. Excuse me. And I want you to test if you understood. You may comment your answers again. So let's have this. You comment letter A if that's negative infinity, B if it is positive infinity, C if it is D and E, or if you have a real number that is the answer, then type that real number. Let's have number 1. What is the limit of 83 over x raised to 3, okay, plus 2? Number 2, what is the limit of 1 over x plus 1 plus 2 over x plus 2? This is 3 as x approaches positive infinity. And the third is, what is the limit, okay, of 9 over x minus 1/3 as x approaches negative infinity? So in this case, class, I'm giving you 15 seconds to find the answers of the following. You may just comment A, B, or C, no, on your answers. Or if you have a real number value, then comment that real number value as the answer. So 15 seconds starts now. Okay, so nakikita ko yung mga sagot ninyo and it was sent to me directly. It is nice to see that, yeah, naintindihan ninyo. Okay, time's up, so let's now answer. Again, by inspection, you have to be very conscious. Meaning to say, in number 1, if this is negative infinity, ito ay gagawin niya 83 over negative infinity. Pag i-factor out mo ang 83 over negative infinity, lalabas ang 83 times 1 over negative infinity. At ano ang sabi natin doon? This will become simply 0. Because 1 over negative infinity is 0. So 0 multiplied to 83 is actually 0. So 0 added to 2 is 2. The answer for number 1 is 2. Okay? In number 3, by inspection, this is positive infinity. So ito magiging positive infinity, ito din positive infinity. So kung 1 over infinity gives you 0, magpapalit ito 0, ito 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. So what is 3 times 0 plus 0? Is 0. The answer for number 2 must be 0. Okay? And in number 3, by observation, this x will become negative infinity. So 9 over negative infinity is 0. Why? Because, well, inuulit natin, 1 over negative infinity is actually 0. So 9 times 0 is 0. Okay? So ano matitira? Negative 1/3. The answer is negative 1/3. Okay, that's negative 1/3. Okay, so I can see your answers were actually clearly written, and well, that's great, no? So the answers are 2, 0, and negative 1/3. So class, it means to say that, again, don't get confused of infinity. Dahil may kakayahan ng 1 over infinity or any non-zero constant numerator over infinity to become 0. At dahil 0 lang siya, yung mga constant ang magiging limit. Katulad ng number 3. Kung magsi-0 ang 9 over x, may iwan si constant negative 1/3. So yun yung sagot mo. Ang number 1 naman, ang may iwan ay yung 2 bilang constant. And that will be your answer. And to give you a clue on that, madalas kung ano yung constant term, yun yung sagot. Pero hindi ko sinasabing palagi. Most of the time, not always. Okay? And you can only say that after inspection. Because when you inspect, ay, okay, may iwan yung constant. Then you have to do it. The constant will be the answer. If there is no constant term, the tendency that will be 0. Katulad ng number 2. Lahat sila magsi-0. Wala nang constant. 0 ang sagot. Okay? Let's now move to the next. And as manifested by your answers, okay, you are manifesting good scores pagdating ng last quiz and also your final exam. Okay, mag-move na tayo sa next rule. Okay. Now, these rules are also helpful in evaluating and the indeterminate form. Ibig sabihin, yung 1 over infinity daw ay malaki din ang tulong niya para masagutan mo ang mga indeterminate forms na ganito. And class, kailan ba madalas nagpapakita ang mga ganyang form? Una, pinapakita dito na hindi na nagkaroon ng inspection. You don't see any inspection right now. Pero tinan natin, we try to inspect. Halimbawa, hindi pa natin alam yung buong sagot. Then this will become 2 times negative infinity raised to 5 minus 3 times negative infinity raised to 3. Okay? And plus the square of negative infinity minus 6. Okay, so pwede na nating i-remove. Remove negative 6 kasi that good as no effect at all. So 2 times negative infinity raised to 5, even versus odd versus negative, magre-retain ng negative. Okay? Odd, this is negative, so negative. Negative times negative becomes positive, so this is plus infinity. And the square of negative is positive, so plus infinity. Pag pinagsama mo tong dalawa, bibigyan ka niya ng positive infinity. So this one is indeterminate. And kung makikita mo, class, hindi mo siya kayang i-factor out ng ganun siya kabilis, no? Bakit? Kasi nakikita mo yung negative 6. 2x raised to 5 minus 2x cubed plus x squared. And nandun si minus 6. Sa tingin mo, kaya mong i-factor out agad-agad? There are cases wherein the factoring technique is but appropriate. But there are also chances, since the number of terms is more than 2, you can actually have a polynomial of 4 terms. Ang magagamit mo dito, class, is make use of the fraction form, 1 over x form. To do that, okay, ito lang yung technique. I-identify mo ang pinakamalaki ang exponent, the greatest, or the degree. The degree is the highest exponent of the polynomial. The degree is 5, so you bring out x raised to 5. Nung nilabas mong x raised to 5, sa madaling salita, nag-factor out ka with the main intention to, okay, ang main intention mo ay para ilabas ang ganitong form at magkaroon ka ng 0. X raised to 5, 2x raised to 5 divided by x raised to 5 is 2. So negative 3x raised to 3 divided by x raised to 5 is 3 over x squared. O sa madaling salita, kapag dinivide mo lahat ito sa x raised to 5, ito yung matitira. Okay, in the rule of exponent, baka medyo na dito kayo. In the rule of exponent, x cubed over x raised to 5 is equal to 1 over x raised to 2. Kaya nga raised to 2 ito. Yung isa naman raised to 3. Why? 3. 5 minus 3. Ayun, dito na pala tayo. 2. 5 minus 2, 3. Okay? Tapos i-divide mo yung negative 6 sa x raised to 5. So anong mangyayari? Negative 6 over 5 pa rin siya. Now, the rules tells us that all those who are fraction in form will become 0, provided that the denominator keeps on increasing without bound or decreasing. Then makikita mo dito, this will become negative 3 over positive infinity. Ito din, si 1 over x cubed, magiging ano siya, 1 over negative infinity kasi cube becomes negative pa rin ang kanyang dominating sign. Samantalang ito, magiging 6 over negative infinity. Lahat sila magzi-zero. Bakit? Kasi ginaya nila ang sinasabi ng rule. Ang sinasabi kasi ng rule, kapag tuloy-tuloy sa pag-increase ang iyong denominator at ang iyong numerator ay constant, magzi-zero ang kanyang katumbas. That is the reason why, class, this becomes, ito naging 0, ito 0, at ito din ay 0. So lahat ito ay matatanggal na. Tanggal na yan. So what will happen therefore? A negative infinity raised to 5 is negative infinity because the exponent is simply odd number. 2, that is positive, multiplied to a negative is negative. It means to say, class, o tinan nyo, ilagay ko dito. This is the rule. Kaya nag-0 lahat ng mga yan. The answer is negative infinity. So you do the factoring technique just to bring out this rule. Ilabas mo ang 1 over x. Ang ibig sabihin kasi, class, itong n na ito, anumang exponent, o pwede mong ilabas 1 over x, o maglabas ka ng 1 over x raised to 2, raised to 3, ano man daw ang ilabas mo. Okay, n takes any positive integer. Okay, so you do the factoring. What about in number 8? Okay, in number 8, by inspection, pwede tayo mag-inspect ulit dito, i-square mo ang positive o di positive infinity pa rin, minus raised to 4 mo ang positive o di positive pa rin. Next, plus, that is obviously positive. What about this? Minus a positive. Okay? Oh, you have positive infinity, minus infinity, plus infinity, minus infinity. Pagsama ang dalawang positive, pagsama ang dalawang negative. O di anong matitira sa kanila? Indeterminate, infinity minus infinity ang mangyayari. That is the reason why it is actually indeterminate. So you get the highest power or the degree, which is 8. And all of them, i-divide mo sa x over 8. All of them. Divide mo lang dito sa x raised to 8. Ano nang matitira? From negative 6x raised to 8, matitira ay negative 6. O ito, x squared divided by x raised to 8. Siyempre, x raised to 6. X raised to 4 divided by x raised to 8, x raised to 4. X raised to 6 divided by x raised to 8 is x raised to 2. Tapos lahat ng constant may iwan sa numerator. And the rule tells you that 1 over x raised to n becomes 0 as x keeps on increasing. At tandaan mo, this is limit at infinity. That is the reason why now, class, that this is 0, 0, and this is simply 6, constant. Constant kasi siya, class, hindi siya magzi-0. Ang lagi mo lang aabangan dito ay yung constant kasi hindi nga siya magzi-0. So, malaki ang epekto ng kanyang sign in identifying the final. Okay, the final answer. So what will be our answer? A negative times positive is negative. The answer is negative. Again, nag-factor out ka kasi ang gusto mong mangyari ay ilabas mo lahat, palitan mo lahat na pwede mag-0. Okay? So may nakikita ba kayong clue? Can you see a clue here? May nakikita na ba kayong shortcut? Okay. So, what if you're asked to solve a problem? Maggawa tayo ng isang problem. If you're going to solve this, let's say, the limit of 7x raised to 4 minus x raised to 3 plus x raised to 2 as x keeps on increasing. What is your answer? A, negative infinity. B, positive infinity. May I know your answer? May you please comment your answer in 5 seconds? May I know your answer? What is the limit of 7x raised to 4 minus x cubed plus x squared as x keeps on increasing? 5 seconds. Okay, so nakikita ko yung mga sagot nyo. Some answered B, others answered A. Now, sana makita nyo yung clue. Nagiging obvious na siya, no? Kapag titignan mo ito, by inspection class, you can immediately observe that this becomes positive infinity because of 4. Dahil sa minus na yan, then this will become negative infinity. Yan. Kung samahin mo yung parehong positive, so there is positive infinity minus infinity. So, magiging indeterminate siya. Tapos kapag nag-factor out ka dito, when you do the factoring technique here, okay, so erase ko to. Ilalabas mo ang highest power. Ilalabas mo x raised to 4. So natira dito 7. This will become 1 over x. Kasi 4 minus 3, 1, x raised to 1. 4 minus 2, 2, x raised to 2. So you have 1 over x raised to 2. And the rule says 1 over infinity is 0. At ang sabi nito, this is infinity. So, pwede mo lang gagawin dito, this is now 0, this is 0. So ano to? X raised to 4 is a positive infinity raised to 4 times 7. That's positive infinity times 7. The answer is positive infinity. The answer really is A. Is B. The answer is B. Positive infinity. Ngayon, ano napapansin nyo class na shortcut? Try nating balikan yung unang examples. Let's go back to the example about this. Mga indeterminate. Kung makikita mo to, x raised to 4 yung mas malaki kay x cubed, no? Siya magdo-dominate. Okay? So, pwede mong gawin negative infinity raised to 4 is positive infinity. So, the answer is positive infinity. Next, ito naman. Ito yung nag-dominate. Ito yung mas mabilis sa kanilang dalawa. So, you have negative 10 times positive infinity raised to 2. Then this will be negative 10 times positive infinity. The answer is negative infinity. Kaya negative infinity itong sagot. What else? Number 3. Number 3, you can't get out of the rule of radical sign that the fourth root of positive is really positive. Pero kung titignan mo si x cubed minus x squared, ito yung magdo-dominate, x cubed, the higher the exponent. So a positive infinity raised to 3 is positive infinity. So kapag yan ay kinuha mo na ang fourth root ni positive infinity, is really positive infinity. Okay? Kaya tingnan mo naman yung examples natin kanina. Punta na tayo sa mismong examples. Dito sa example na to, nakikita mo, this is the highest. Pwede mo na siyang gawing clue. So magiging 2 times negative infinity raised to 5 is 2 times negative infinity? The answer is negative infinity. Yan siya. Dahil kung mapapansin mo naman class kanina, kung mapapansin mo naman, a positive, laging si highest exponent kasi lumalabas eh. Tapos ang matitira yung ang kanyang numerical coefficient. Sila pa rin lagi ang natitira. 2 times x raised to 5. Tapos itong pangalawa, sino ang natira? Diba si x raised to 8, tapos si negative 6, wherein siya din ito. Kaya pwede mo na itong kunin, and then you have negative 6, x raised to 8. O x raised to 8, positive infinity raised to 8 is negative times positive infinity. That's negative infinity. Kaya ito ay negative infinity. Okay? So I hope that helps. No? Nasaan yung pinasolve ko? Ito. It's like this. Pwede mo na itong kunin. 7x raised to 4. So 7 times positive infinity raised to 4 is 7 times increasing. Then that's increasing. Kaya ito ay positive infinity. So I'm sharing some of the clues para hindi na kayo medyo mahirapan pa sa pag-solve ng mga ganyan. Tingnan mo lang yung highest degree. Doon ka mag-focus. Sorry, not the highest degree, redundant. The degree. The degree is the highest exponent. Okay, and then you focus there at yun na nga yung magiging sagot. Okay? Let's now move to the next. Ito naman. Ano naman ang sabi nito? Sabi niya, if the numerator and denominator have the same degree or power, the ratio of the constants of the term containing the highest power is the limit.